France, Spain, Germany, and the UK are big markets, big countries with millions of SMBs, thousands of millions of people working in those SMBs. So we don't plan to open new countries at the moment, like other startups, but rather to deep dive in those specific countries and have a great market shares in those four big countries.
Now, you describe yourself as offering a hybrid solution to payroll services. You're neither in-house nor outsourced. What does that mean in practice?
Yeah, it means that you have the control as an entrepreneur, as an HR manager. You keep control on payroll, so you see all the costs. You can add your employees, you can offboard employees, but for the things that are related, for example, to tax declarations, as an entrepreneur, as an HR manager, you don't have to see that. It's automated on PayFit. So basically, it's a bit of an hybrid solution, as you get just to do what you need to do, and the rest, it's transparent. And we think that it's better than in-house or outsourced payroll, the solution that we provide our customers with.
How difficult was it for you to adapt the product during the pandemic, when obviously there were furlough schemes across Europe?
Yeah, so that's our secret sauce, because in the first place, when we created PayFit back in 2015, we created our own programming language, Jetlang, which makes it super easy for us to adapt to new regulations. So this is a competitive advantage in a time like a COVID pandemic. So we were able to adapt very quickly and to be super reactive for our customers that were super happy about that. Because in the UK, but in France, you know, a lot of things have changed, and we needed to be super reactive.
And what does a typical customer look like? I mean, the term SME covers a very, very broad range of businesses.
Yeah, so that could range from 1 to 500 employees. So typically, you can have a tech startup based in London with 70 employees growing super fast. But you can also have more traditional businesses. Like, for example, we do serve a lot of restaurants that have, let's say, 15 employees.
And in terms of the competition, who keeps you awake at night?
We're more focused and worried about improving our service and our product, because this kind of hybrid solution doesn't really exist at the moment. And we want to create a European leader on that sector, and giving SMBs the means to digitalize their HR processes, starting through payroll. So that's the most important thing that keeps me awake at night at the moment.
Now, you said, you pointed out this, of course, this funding round makes you a unicorn. I think you're now valued at 1.82 billion euros. Presumably an IPO is the next step in the story, is it?
Clearly, we have a business model that makes it possible to stay independent in the coming years. We're not looking for a business model. We know how to provide value to our customers. We know how to earn money. The private markets at the moment are quite strong and offer a lot of money. So we'll see, either going public, either keep on raising money on the private market. Those are the opportunities that lie ahead of us.
All right. Well, hope to see you again in future when you've more to say on that. Good to see you this morning. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. It's been a very choppy 24 hours or so in markets. We'll have a look at how they're doing this morning next. Stay tuned.
It's going quite well. The weather's pretty fresh. But I've had plenty of support. There's lots of people running and cycling with me, and it's going really well. Well, I'm hoping to raise the profile of both the charities that I'm raising money for, so Macmillan Cancer Support and West Cumbria Hospice at Home. I think it's fair to say that everybody's got a cancer story. We've all been affected by cancer in some way. And I just I remember back to when my dad was told he had cancer, and when he passed away, I wanted to do something in his memory, and I thought back to those days, and the support that people need, and the charities that I'm raising funds for give you that support. So I'm hoping to get people a lot fitter, get out with me, do a few miles, do whatever you can, but let's raise some money and give the support that it's needed. I do the same route, which starts from my house and it's on a local cycle path. We live up in Cumbria. It's a fantastic place to run, beautiful views, lots of different scenic things every day. It's wonderful. It takes me back to my house. So it's a loop that goes around, but, there's 26 mile in it. It isn't flat. There's a bit of up and down, about 1,000 feet in every marathon. So over the year, it'll be up and down Everest 12 times. But it just is what it is. There's lots of people comes with us, and it's great to get out there, and it's great for people's mental health as well as everything else. When we think about the COVID times that we're in, people need to get outside and they need to see the beauty that's in front of them. Yeah, I am confident that I can do it. I've done 110, as you've just said, and I just see it as an extension to those 110. Yeah, you just keep going. You see you're just giving page going up every day. You see the money that's going onto it. You realise how many people you're helping. So that always inspires you to keep moving. But you also see lots of people coming out to support you, and you realise that it's about everybody around us. The community comes together.
Well, Wall Street sold off last night after minutes from the US Federal Reserve's latest meeting revealed that officials discussed a faster timetable for raising interest rates this year than expected, as well as a reduction in bond holdings built up under quantitative easing. Well, that was followed by falls in stock markets in the Asia-Pacific region overnight. Hong Kong finished higher, but elsewhere, the Nikkei 225 in Tokyo and the ASX in Sydney both fell by almost 3%. There were also declines in Mumbai and in Shanghai. Well, the sell-offs continued in Europe this morning. Here's the current picture. All of the main indices down by around 1% or so. One talking point in Europe this morning is Carrefour. Shares of France's biggest supermarket are currently ahead by some 4%. That's on reports that its smaller rival Auchan may revive takeover interest. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in negative territory, albeit not as much as in continental Europe. The FTSE off just under 0.5%, and that is again in reaction to the hawkish Fed minutes. The biggest fallers in the blue chip index this morning are the credit rating group Experian and the software group Aviva. In both cases, that is because they've gone ex-dividend today. In other words, they're trading for the first time without the rights to the latest payout. So don't panic, shareholders in those companies. The leading blue chip gainer is the retailer B&M. Its shares, well, look at that, it's showing unchanged there. It is actually up by some 1.5%. That is on a better than expected Christmas trading update. Outside the FTSE 100, big faller to mention there, Dr. Martens, which you remember floated last year. Well, the shares are off some 9% this morning. That is after the private equity firm Permira, which was its former owner, has offloaded a 6.5% stake. On the foreign exchange markets, let me show you those. Again, very, very heavily influenced by those Fed minutes last night. The dollar jumped on the back of that. Accordingly, sterling is lower by around 1/6% against the greenback. The pound also off by nearly 1/3% right now against the euro. The strong dollar has also weighed on the oil price this morning. The oil price and the dollar tend to move in inverse proportion to each other. Barrel of Brent crude, I think we can show you that one, can we? No, we can't. Well, I can tell you a barrel of Brent crude was trading around 0.2% lower the last time I checked. Well, joining me now, the economist at Fidelity International, Anna Stupniska. Anna, very good morning to you. All about those Fed minutes. Was this a bit of an overreaction, though? Because, I mean, in terms of the rates guidance, it's no more than what Jay Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, actually said in his press conference after the meeting.
I think the minutes did sound a bit more hawkish because they indicated that a lot of participants, a lot of FOMC members would actually support a sooner rate hiking cycle. So it's not just several participants, it's actually a broad opinion in the committee. And the rate hiking cycle might start now as soon as March. And in fact, that's what the markets are pricing already.
And I guess the other thing that spooked investors was this commentary on QE. You know, we're going to get the opposite of QE, effectively, quantitative tightening potentially.
Yeah, exactly. They're very keen to start running off the balance sheet, and the announcement potentially will be made at some point this year. It might start later this year as well, or even after the first hike. Last time when it happened, it did result in a bigger tightening of financial conditions than anticipated. So this is quite a powerful tool as well that can lead to tighter conditions this year. So this is really the center. That's the focus for the markets, not just this week, but for the whole year. That withdrawal of policy accommodation.
Now, obviously, over the last 24 hours, we've had the Purchasing Managers Index survey data from across Europe. Any surprises in there for you?
Well, I think there are some signs that some of those bottlenecks are being sort of eased, and inflation pressures in those indices showing as declining to some extent. But also we have seen some pressure on the industry, in particular from Omicron, from the energy crisis, and so growth is seen to be slowing through the winter, and at the same time inflationary pressures remain high. So not hugely surprising, but the trends that we have been expecting through the winter have been confirmed in those PMIs.
Worth pointing out, though, Anna, before we get too depressed, I mean, the UK PMI number came out just before we came on air. I mean, it still points to the economy growing during December. I mean, it's not all completely bad news.
No, it's not bad news, and we know that policy support that has been in the system and the savings accumulated among consumers, that is still all supporting growth and will continue doing so over the next few months. But of course, as we approach withdrawal of that policy accommodation with fiscal policy much less supportive, those growth numbers will be slowing through the year.
All right, Anna, we have to leave it there. Good to see you this morning. Thanks very much indeed for joining me. Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. We hear what's driving the so-called Great Resignation and find out how companies can retain their best staff. Don't go away.
To their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Broadcasting live online. Turn it on. Turn it up.
Show them you got the Coco set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie, and you're listening to Starr Radio UK show.
This is Starr Radio UK. In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Through the fire, He will be there. Through the storm, God will be there. Through the rain, God will be there. Take your burden to the Lord.
Yes, welcome to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today is the 6th day of January, the year 2022, with the time now exactly 10:39 from the hearts of London. From now to 1 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain, and we're going to be flying like no man's business with a speed of sound. Well, bear with me with my croaky voice. The weather is kind of cold.
This is Starr Radio UK.
But I'm going to make sure that by the end of the program, you will feel hot, hot, hot. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I remain yours sincerely.
This is the morning show with Archie.
My chapona, come on.
But let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We salute you all and we welcome you to the Thursday edition of the morning show. Special good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olaimi Koiki, Kojo D, Felix all the way in Aberdeen, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy in the house. To our presenters on Starr Radio, you can salute you all, and I welcome you to the Thursday edition once again. Malik, morning to you. Mr. Kluche, good morning to you. Mr. Abdul Yakin Kofi, Master, good morning. Dr. Morton, I salute you, sir. Mr. Isaac McKeever, all the way in Chicago, good morning to you. Comforter Hewitt in Minnesota, good morning to you. John Boama in Texas. And to all you wonderful people listening to us this morning in the US, in Europe, in Asia, on the African continent, in Australia, I salute you all. A special good morning goes to my envoy, or our envoy in Moscow, Tassino. I hope you're doing very well, sir. I know it's kind of chilling there, but you know, you are used to that, like we are used to what is happening here. Okay. And if you are listening to us from some temperate zone, you're also used to what is there as well. But you know what I'm going to advise? Get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate, and just make yourself very, very comfortable. If you're standing, hold on to something. If you're sitting, sit very comfortably. It could get bumpy, but I promise you one thing for sure. We're going to arrive at our destination in peace and not in pieces. Once again, welcome. But I beseech you, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well.
Little darling, don't you cry.
We transmitting live on our own apps. Yes, the Star Radio UK app. Now, if you go to your app store, just type in Star Radio Global, and then it will pop up there, and then you can download it. It is for free, whether it's Android or iOS.
God will be there.
And also,
take your burden to the Lord in prayer.
all social media platforms, we are there. TuneIn Radio, we are there. Name it and just look for it, and we are there. Let me say a special good morning to Mr. Ebenezer Hammond, all the way in South Africa, Cape Town to be specific, and Chantel there as well. Hope you are all doing very good. To our global listeners, yeah, if I've not mentioned or acknowledged where you are this morning, just bear with me. I'm in a very, very nice mood. Being very hot here. Somebody say, really? If it's hot, are you wearing a jacket on top as well? But it's kind of cold. Alright then. So let's crack on. Now, it's Thursday morning edition of the morning show. This is how it's going to be going. I'm going to bring you the coach for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit as well. And then we'll be having a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. That will be after the travel updates. And then at 11 o'clock, we have a look at some of the stories making the rounds, starting from Nigeria, updates from Nigeria. Then after that, we come back to look at some of the stories from here, home here in the UK and other parts of the world. That means we're going round to make sure you know everything that is going on. Then at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. Hopefully we should have Mr. Kojo D joining us as well. And of course you listening to me. What about that? Okay, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright. Some way, somehow, they tend to be alright. Good morning to Charlotte Odum. Yes, presenter of the renewed show. Yeah, she's going to be coming your way this evening exactly at 5 o'clock. Don't you worry, I'll be bringing you more details about what she's going to be talking about. Start right. What if you start wrong and you finish right? What about that? Well, you want to know more? Make sure that you listen to her on that program exactly at 5 o'clock. Okie dokie do. Now let's move on. The quote for the day says the key to maximizing opportunities is preparing well ahead for the opportunities. The key to maximizing opportunities is preparing well ahead for the opportunities. I did talk about that yesterday. If you don't prepare, the good times will come and it will elude you, or you cannot handle it and it can kill you. So prepare. Okay, so have you prepared for me? If you have, let's get on with it. For the time now, 10:45. And Starr Radio UK, Thursday edition of the morning show. What has the weather got in stock for us this morning here in London and the southeast of England, to be specific? Well, during the afternoon, thicker cloud would build in with a band of blustery rain following in behind from the west into the evening. Now, this evening, rain will gradually clear to the east. Now, overnight, it will become dry and clear with just the odd patch of cloud drifting through at times. This one coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now, the total temperature is going to be 7 degrees, otherwise it's going to be 2 degrees. UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low. Sunset 16:08 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 08:05 hours. Starr Radio UK. Okay, let's take a quick break. We come back and I'll bring you the travel update as well. But don't you worry, you will enjoy that tune in full as I promise you. Yes, I promise, and I'll make sure I deliver on that. So stay tuned, don't you go away.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Well, keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads, so keep enough gadget. I promise up on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes your way every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:47. So how is your travels like this morning, wherever you find yourself? Well, on the underground this morning, there are a few incidents there. Let me bring it your way. On the central line, there are severe delays due to an earlier signal failure at Leytonstone. London Underground tickets are accepted on London buses, Greater Anglia, and London Overground and TfL Rail. Now, let's move on to the district line as well. On the district line, there are severe delays between Upminster. And what else? What else is going on there? And West Ham, and minor delays on the rest of the line due to an earlier signaling problem at Barking. Yes, London Underground tickets have been accepted on London buses, DLR, C2C services via any reasonable routes. And as you know, Waterloo City lines have got planned closures. That aside, all the others have got good service. Now, the TfL Rail has got a minor delays due to between Liverpool Street and Shenfield, while they face a signal failure in the Bethnal Green area. London Underground are accepting tickets via any reasonable route. Good service operating on all other TfL Rail routes. Now keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. When it comes to London Overground, DLR and London Tramlink, they are all in good service. Now moving on to the river bus this morning, apart from the Woolwich ferry that is suspended, all the others have got good service. Now, flights will be having a lot of incidents on the National Rail, but let me tell you what is happening today on the National Rail once again. Now, East Midlands Railway has got minor delays. Gatwick Express special service, Great Western Railway special service, Great Anglia special service, ScotRail special service, Southeastern severe delays, Southern special service, and Thameslink has also got special service. But keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads, and we'll keep you navigated. I promise, our board. Now moving on to the final segment of the travel update for you today. That's the major roads in London. A4 has got closures, A41 closures, Central London Red Routes closures, North Circular A406 closures there as well, and South Circular A205 closures there as well. So please do your best to check before you leave. And on that note, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. You know what? Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
It's gonna be alright. Alright, everybody. Yeah. Little darling, don't you cry. Brother man, dry your teary eyes. Don't you know God is by your side? From side to side. Through the fire, He will be there. Through the storm, God will be there. Through the rain, God will be there. Take your burden to the Lord in prayer. Lay them all down and leave them there. Where are my regular lovers? Come on. Don't you cry. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't you cry.
Okay, welcome back to the program. Don't you cry, everything's gonna be alright. And I say it all the time, some way, somehow, it does get alright. So this morning, if you think situation is overwhelming you and think, I've gotten to the end of the race and I want to just chuck in the towel, please don't you do that yet. There is still hope. There is still hope. Once you are alive, there is still hope for you. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now 5 minutes on the top of the hour. Let's go global trotting. Okay, Australia cancelled Djokovic visa amid vaccine row, and that's one of the news that has made the rounds. I did talk about that yesterday. Now, shops. COVID travel tests outlive their usefulness. Now, rules for those traveling to England are changing as Omicron is now worldwide, the Transport Secretary says. So if you're traveling to the UK, well, you don't need to do any PCR tests or nothing, because here, it is here in abundance. What about that? No point. Your country of origin, where you coming from, to rather tell you when you are coming back in, they need to check you before you get it. Now, what do you think about that? Let me say good morning to Andy Aqua, all the way Ghana. And rejoice. Yes, massive good morning to you. Let me say morning to the top boss, Mr. Tabiri, and the family as well. Well, Well, some other stories say the RAC say accusing petrol retailers of ripping off motorists by not passing on wholesale price cuts. Now drivers are overcharged by £5 million a day, claims the RAC. Oh, whoa. Have you got a stake in there? Fix NHS staff crisis to tackle backlog, wants MPs. The government needs to wake up to the scale of the problem, says a report from a committee of MPs. So I'll bring you more on that front. Well, the energy prices hikes that is going to be coming, yes, in April is one mind-boggling issue. Now, others have been talking about it. Others are like, okay, let's bring it on. Let's see what is going to happen. Others are like, it's cool because they've got a means to support that. But well, we don't know how high bills will go. That is what the energy boss is saying. The founder and boss of Octopus Energy says that the sector is working on bringing prices down. How low are they going to bring it? Well, yesterday on the Prime Minister's question time, the Prime Minister was saying that, well, they don't want to nationalize the energy sector. Yes? So that means that they are less looking at profitization or profiteering. Now I know that the Labour government, my apologies, the Labour Party or the opposition is saying that, look, we think that the VAT on tariffs should be taken away from there. And then we have the energy prices coming down a bit. But well, are we going to be seeing anything of the sort? That's something I will be looking at during the course of the period. Hundreds of maskless commuters hit with £200 fines, compulsory face coverings were reinstated amid rising concerns about the Omicron variant. So, well, if you are traveling on the underground or any of the public transport, please make sure you have covered your face. Next ones of higher prices as cost rises. The retailer says recent sale rose 20%, but wage, shipping and manufacturing costs are all rising, and therefore there is a need to also push everything up, and therefore prices for what do you call them? Clothing are gonna go high. And it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, I remember back, I think sometime last week or last 2 weeks, we were talking about a boy, a young man who has been missing. Yes, the police seeking missing students. Police seeking missing students have found a body in the Thames. Well, when they were tracking CCTV footage of his movement, they found out that he went towards the Thames, but now he's been found in the Thames. Who or what happened? Did he lose his marbles, or what exactly happened there? Come on. So coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now moving on to other parts of the world. Dozens killed in crackdown on unrest in Kazakhstan. Police say dozens of rioters were killed in an operation to restore order in the main city, Almaty. Well, the Russians have started accusing finger at the West, the US to be specific, saying that, well, they are the ones who are stoking fire there. Well, we did talk about North Korea's missile test, and it says that North Korea says it's tested hypersonic missile. State media KNCA said the missile from yesterday launch had precisely hit its target. So what is going to happen there? Modi trapped on flyover in security breach. The Indian Prime Minister cut short a visit to Punjab after protesting farmers blocked his convoy's routes. Those farmers, I tell you, they are so strong. They don't budge easily, you know. But now they've gotten what they want. I don't know what further they want though, but we'll be bringing you more on that front. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. A minute after 11 the time. Well, Joe Biden is to blame Trump for Capitol riot 1 year on the attack's anniversary. Mr. Biden will say his predecessor holds singular responsibility. Of course, he was the one who met with them and encouraged them. We are coming with you. We are all going to be storming there and then the people were there and he didn't turn up. You know, I saw some few interviews, clips, and there were some people were asking, so where is the president then? Well. He encouraged them to go and then he stuck back. Yeah, let them do it and let's see what happens there. He didn't want to get himself involved in that directly. He didn't want to muddle his hands in the mud. Now, 4th man have been held over up to auction Muslim women. Police suspect the 20-year-old to be the creator of the app that targets Muslim women.
Let me talk to you.
And then European court rules gay cake case inadmissible. A bakery firm was taken to court for refusing to make a cake with a support gay marriage slogan. I got my own bakery. Well, if it's someone will tell you that if it's a public institution, the people can come in and request whatever they want to say. And the person decided that, well, I don't want to be one who is maybe supporting. I don't believe in that cause, therefore I'm not going to do it for you. Well, he's been taken to court, and then the courts have said that, hey, they are refusing. It says the European Court rules gay cake case inadmissible. So nothing's going to happen to them. Yes. Let's move on to other parts of the world as well. Well, the car rally blast triggers French terrorism probe. The explosion in Saudi Arabia last week badly wounded French rally driver Philippe Bertrand. And then the Israelis are saying that for those works Israel says as COVID case spikes, and Israeli studies suggest a fourth vaccine shot boosts antibodies 5-fold. The Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has said. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In the US, there are 8 children among 12 dead in Philadelphia fire. 2 others are injured after a blaze rips through a 3-story public housing block. And then Maxwell lawyers want retrial over juror comments. A juror at the trial said he shared his own experience of sexual abuse to sway other jurors. And that compromises the whole situation or the whole case, right? Well, because he's prejudiced towards that situation. Definitely there's going to be a retrial. But is it the same judge who's going to be sitting on the case? I think they're going to change from judge to the jury as well. But whatever it is, we'll be following very, very closely. Now, China Mobile makes Shanghai debut after US exit. The company delisted in New York after a Trump-era move to restrict investment in Chinese tech firm. Welcome you away from Starr Radio UK. An anti-segregation activist has gotten 130 years on. Homoplexy arrest 130 years ago led to one of the most criticized Supreme Court decisions in US history. Well, I hope that his family find a bit of closure there as well. Take it away, the Colombian has been charged over Haiti president's murder. U.S. authorities accuse an ex-military officer of involvement in the death of President Jovenel Moise. Also coming your way from the Global Trotting, making waves in London. From Starr Radio UK. Well, in Australia cancels Djokovic visa amid vaccine row. Well, I said if I were him, I would decide I'm no more playing, I'm going. But he wants to continue to play, so he's in an isolation hotel, sort of. Until Monday, his case has been adjourned. There'll be a hearing on that as to whether his visa should be reinstated. It all coming away from Starr Radio UK. recorded the first death with Omicron variant. The 74-year-old man had diabetes and other comorbidities, but reports say he was fully vaccinated. So you know, that is the situation. When you take it, you don't take it, So which is which? Okay, we encourage everybody to go take it, right? Now, on the African continent as well, Zuma South Africa scandal, bullying and fear. Liberian jails ran out of food for inmates. Now, 2 prisons temporarily reject new inmates as authorities say they are addressing crisis. Wow, I don't know what has happened in Liberia, you know. A Kenyan MP suspended for distributing sweets in parliament. The legislator broke house rules during a day-long session on election laws. And in Nigeria, as I'm bringing you more details on it, Nigeria armed groups declared terrorist groups. The move is expected to give authorization for the military to use lethal force against the gangs. We'll be looking at which groups are they talking about. Well, in Senegal rejects attempts to toughen anti-gay laws. Same-sex relationships are widely considered unacceptable in the country. Well, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Still on the African continent, Nigeria, fire rips through busy neighborhood in Lagos. And Burundian forces in Eastern DRC claim local successes. Well, I like that in a way where African countries, some neighbors can go into the other country to go help them fight some of the menaces that's going on there. And Mali, ECOWAS envoys deliver a message to Junta ahead of a crucial summit. Now, what message have they delivered? You want to know more? You just have to stay tuned. Don't touch the dial because I'm going to bring you more on that front. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Well, in Ghana, charges against you have nothing to do with e-levy. Attorney General to Ato Forsen. Well, are they trying to, get some of the people that out of the way? Maybe the day that they will have to vote for the e-levy in parliament, and then they will get them. You have to appear before the courts, and therefore they will not have the privilege of voting. And then the ruling government can have its majority that it wants to get the e-levy through. Now, what do you think about all that? More going to be coming away from that front. Now, SNIT NIA numbers measure extended to June the 30th. All this coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, when it comes to the ambulance purchase, Bagbin 3 NEC health ministers probed over ambulance purchase. That's what the Attorney General is saying. So, if they take Bagbin out of there and a few of them out of there, is it going to give them the numbers that they want? Yeah. And yesterday I did talk about the benchmark values. Well, you don't know. Let me tell you, if you happen to send a car home, yes. You know the cost now? Everything in Ghana is going up. Meanwhile, the salaries of the workers there is not matching up to what the hikes, the inflation rate, and everything that is going on. I'll be looking at all that in a moment. Now, don't you go away. It is Starr Radio UK. 11 minutes past the top of the hour. Apartheid system of salary administration in public services must give way to the scientific thinking, Glock Zach says. So I'm going to bring you more on that front, so stay tuned, don't you go away. Enjoy the rest of the music and I will be back.
online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
It's gonna be alright.
Starr Radio. Radio for the people. Live.
It's gonna be alright. Hold on, hold on. Now, you just wanna jive with me on this one, come on. From side to side, from side to side. Whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah. Say, whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
You go Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Okay, so let some fire come this morning and make you warm wherever you are. If you are cold, yes, and if you are hot, let some nice chill breeze come from this program and make you cool. What about that? All right, then. Now let's go to Nigeria for some updates from Nigeria. As I've said, pretty soon we shall have Mr. Olaimi Koiki joining us once again to bring you all that you need to know when it comes to all those updates from Nigeria. But for now, let's crack on. Let's crack on. So, now, when it comes to the stories that is making the rounds in Nigeria today, first of all, let's look at the situation. Armed group declared terrorist groups in Nigeria. The Nigerian government has formally designated armed gangs operating in the country as terrorist groups. The gangs have been known locally as bandits. The move comes more than a month after a high court in Abuja made a similar ruling about the gangs. The criminal gangs, which have large swaths of land under their control, have abducted school children, tortured their kidnapped victims, raped and forced others into prostitution or sexual slavery. Now, the action is expected to give the military the authorization it needs to use lethal force in fighting them. The declaration, titled Terrorism Prevention Prosecution Order Notice 2021, is contained in a document released by the Justice Minister, the Minister, on Wednesday. The government had approached the court in October after repeated calls from across Nigeria for the gunmen to be so designated to enable security operatives to better combat them. And we say that's a good one because we were looking forward. We discussed this several times on this platform, but well, at long last it has come to pass. So kudos to government for pushing that through as well, and we hope that will help the military to also go on that path of fighting this menace that is going on in Nigeria. Okay, still in Nigeria, some other stories making the rounds there. A fire has ripped through busy neighborhood in Lagos. The story says in Nigeria, a large fire ripped through an informal settlement on Wednesday in the commercial capital Lagos. Flames and smoke could be seen in Ebote Meta, an area of sawmills and parked housing along the banks of the Lagos Lagoon. The fire ripped through what is Lagos' largest plank market for several hours before the emergency services turned up. There are no reports of casualties yet, but we hope that it remains the same there, that no casualties will be found. Well, still in Nigeria, 100 hostages have been rescued. The story says that on Tuesday, the police announced men and women and children abducted more than 2 months ago had recovered their freedom. It is the end of an ordeal for the nearly 100 hostages who had been taken from their homes and along highways in remote communities in Zamfara and neighboring Sokoto State. Among the former captives were 19 babies and more than a dozen children looking malnourished, weary and wearing worn out clothing. They were used to living in abandoned forest reserves that served as hideouts for the gunmen. Now, police said the hostages were rescued unconditionally Monday, enjoying security operations targeting the camps of armed groups that have been terrorizing remote communities across the northwest and center of Africa's most populous country. Now, it goes on further to say the rescue brought a sign of relief in Nigeria, where armed groups have killed thousands and kidnapped many residents and travelers in Nigeria's troubled north. It goes on further to say in this part of the country, a decades-long conflict opposes large bands of assailants who are mostly young men from the Fulani ethnic group to the Hausa farming communities, resulting in insecurity. This is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on straight to some other stories, once again in Nigeria. A piece have been written, have been given by why Nigerian youth seem to be fleeing the country, and I will bring you more on that front. And Buhari avoids question on Nigeria's debt inflation. Well, in a video chat, it's a video that has been posted where Buhari has avoided. He didn't want to talk about the debts of the country and the inflation rates. Well, so, at times our leaders, they live in their own nice, is it, should I call it their own world, and therefore what others are feeling, they not actually feel that. Though we have the situation where some leaders have said that, well, because they cannot reach everybody, so they have their arms, the stretched arms, okay? That is people, ministers and various governors and people like that who are supposed to actually bring information back to the leaders, the leader himself, for him to know exactly what is happening. But they are the same people who seem to be painting the whole thing differently. So the leader is there looking at it like, how are things doing or going on in that part of the world? And they say, well, everything seems to be fine. What about inflation? Oh, the people are doing very, very well. They are coping with it. So don't you worry. Let's get on with it. And therefore, and in reality, the leaders themselves don't know exactly what is going on the ground. Well, should I say that that's what is happening? I'll bring you more on that front. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Nigeria government to earn 81 billion naira from new excise duty on soft drinks. So now we are going on soft drinks as well. Okay. And then the National Assembly has earmarked some sum of money. National Assembly earmarks 5 billion naira to build a library, 1 billion naira for constitution review despite Nigeria's dwindling revenue. They are going to be sitting there doing their research there, and they'll come out with policies that will. Okay, now let's go. Let me bring you details of some of the stories that I've touched on. The Nigerian federal lawmakers in both the Senate and the House of Representatives will spend more than 139 billion naira in the year 2022. Now, this was revealed according to the post of by a data consulting agency, StatSense, on its Twitter page. The story says checks by the Sahara reporters show that the StatSense picked the data from the budget office. In the figures released, 100 billion naira was earmarked for zonal interventions, while National Assembly liabilities to GOB 10 billion naira. In the data, the National Assembly Library building will consume 5 billion naira, and the lawmakers are billed to spend 1 billion naira on constitutional reviews. Other projected expenses are National Assembly e-library with 300 million and the National Assembly dashboard with 139 million. Also, it's expected that the National Assembly members will host their counterparts from African countries in what is termed as Conference of Speakers of African Parliament, that's the COSAP, as revealed in the data as well. Now, while the date for COSAP was not disclosed, 150 million naira was earmarked for the hosting of the events. Recalling that Sahara Republic reporters had published last week how President Muhammad Buhari lamented some worrisome changes made by the National Assembly on the 2022 budget he signed into law. Buhari mentioned 36.59 billion was included by the extravagant lawmakers for their projects in the service-wide vote. Now, the president had said, it is in this regard that I must express my reservations about many of the changes that the National Assembly has made to the 2022 executive budget proposal. Now, some of the worrisome changes are as follows: inclusion of new provision totaling 36.59 billion naira for National Assembly projects in the service-wide vote, as I did say earlier on, and some of the women changes. My apologies. Some of the worrisome changes are as follows: inclusion of the second one, which again, let me take it again. 36.59 billion naira for National Assembly projects in the service-wide vote, which negates the principles of separation of powers and financial autonomy of the legislative arm of government. So, this is what is going to happen when it comes to that budget and those monies. Well, while some people are crying. Well, only yesterday or Monday, place, what do you call those places? Some shanty areas in Lagos was burnt down. Well, they are looking at how do we, get a very nice, comfy seat in a very nice edifice that will turn it a library, and then we can sit and then we can do all sorts. But what do you think? Maybe it's a good thing. We need to, show people that, well, we are living good, or whatever is going on. Though some people are crying, yet, there is some smile on some people's face. Maybe that is what is going on. But what do you think? I want to have your take on that. The Nigerian government to earn 81 billion from new excise duty on soft drinks. Yes, tighten the belt. Let them not have any soft drinks at all. Let them go maybe locally manufactured soft drinks. Can there be anything of the sort? The Manufacturer Association had detailed what the 10 naira per litre excise duty on carbonated and non-alcoholic drinks means for the manufacturing industry and Nigerians. In a report, key considerations against excise on non-alcoholic beverages, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria explained that the new law will be counterproductive and lead to revenue loss for the government. According to from 2022 to 2025, the federal government might collect 81 billion naira from the excise duty but lose 197 billion naira within the same period from other taxes such as value-added tax and company income tax from the manufacturers of soft drinks. The report added that introducing excise duty will cause the beverages sub-sector of the food and beverage industry to lose up to 1.9 trillion naira in sales revenue between 2022 to 2025 due to the imposition of the new taxes with simultaneous adverse effects on jobs and supply chain businesses. Well, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK updates from Nigeria. Okay. Well, it seems that will be the end of the updates because some of the stories has actually eluded me. My producer says that they cannot pop up. Okay. Well, one other story. Kerosene explosion kills 1-year-old in Anambra State is another story that is making the rounds there. The unfortunate incident occurred on 3rd of January when a local lantern her grandmother was using suddenly exploded. The member of the family, Obu Gad, took to Facebook to narrate the incident. He wrote, "Sometimes life confuses humans. Just came back home only to discover Kami Yochuku has been taken by death. Asked what happened? She was engaged with a domestic accident where she was burnt by a kerosene that exploded from the lantern. This little girl went through pain throughout yesterday. The incident occurred because she didn't die immediately. She was burnt. Imagine the kind of pain she must have been into. Her whole body was burnt. Even the grandma that was near her barely escaped, though her face was burnt, but she survived it. I say may her soul rest in perfect peace, and I pray that God will grant this family some comfort. Let me put it that way. Some comfort. Well, this is all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and that brings the time now to exactly 11:31, and therefore updates from Nigeria concluded there. As and when we have any other updates during the course of the program, I promise you one thing for sure, and you should know by now that I'll be bringing your way. We take a commercial break and bring you some lively tune, and then we continue with the show. Stay tuned, don't you go away. I am Archie, and it is the Thursday edition of the morning show.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store. the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
To go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. I want to know which way Nigeria.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh sure, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many, many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I
This is Starr Radio UK.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning
Green
Show.
revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way
bringing the country down. We all want to be millionaires and to live in the air. Oh, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, we want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Remember that.
Well, it's coming your way from Starr Radio UK, which way Nigeria by the late Sonny Okuson.
So as to make the country smile.
Well, what do you think Nigeria is heading to? Well, with the government saying that, well, we are now labeling all these abductors and armed groups doing all those menace, causing menace in that part of the world. We are now labeling them terrorists. You think that will solve the problem? Was before the year ended, the year 2021 ended, we had Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president, also adding his voice to the discourse, saying that he think that it should not be stick. It should be carrot and stick when it comes to these individuals or groups of people. But do you think the move by government will solve the problem? I remember back in the day when we were having discussions sometime last year, Mr. Olaini Kojo was of the view that, well, the only way is to label these groups terrorist groups, and then we'll have the military now cracking down on them like no man's business. But do you think that would have worked for them? Well, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 11:38 the time, the morning show, the program. Of course, I am Archie. Now, if you want to join the discussion, you want to post your comments or anything of the sort, feel free to do it, and I promise you, I'm going to be reading that as well. Okay? But at 12 o'clock, I'll be opening the lines for you to add your voice to the discussion. So until then, just do as I've said, put your comments here and there, and then I will see to that for you. Okay. All right, interesting. Okay, now let's look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, starting from home here in the UK. So, those of you who have traveled or who are yet to travel into the country, yes, I know most of my young guys are in some of them are in Ghana, some of them are in Nigeria at the moment, outside the country, but you have to go do PCR tests and all that coming in. But hey, new information coming through says that pre-departure travel tests have outlived their usefulness. That's what Grant Sharps is saying. The story says the current COVID testing system for people traveling to England has outlived its usefulness. Transport Secretary Grant Sharps has said, as Omicron is now widespread and worldwide, ahead of a rule change, apologies, later this week, he said the system introduced to slow Omicron spread had done its part. The pre-departure test will end for fully vaccinated travelers, and day 2 PCRs will be replaced by lateral flow tests. Mr. Sharp said ministers will ensure a stable system is in place for 2022. The shake-up announced on Wednesday came after the travel firms said measures were not effective. Now Omicron was spreading widely. Under the current rules in force until Friday, all fully vaccinated travelers over the age of 12 must show proof of a negative lateral flow or PCR test taken in the 2 days before coming to the UK. Now, fully vaccinated people must also pay for a PCR test within the 2 days of arrival and self-isolate while waiting for the result. Now, people who aren't fully vaccinated must currently take PCR tests on both day 2 and day 8 after arriving and self-isolate for 10 days. Okay, but under the new law, from 4 a.m. GMT, that's tomorrow. Now, people who are fully vaccinated and those aged under 18 will no longer need to take a test 2 days before traveling to England from countries outside the UK and the common travel area. On arrival, they will have to take a PCR test, but will no longer have to self-isolate while awaiting the result. Now, from 4 a.m. GMT on Sunday, they will only have to take a lateral flow test instead of a PCR test on day 2. But this test must be bought from a private test provider. Free NHS tests are not allowed. Unvaccinated passengers will need to continue to take a pre-departure test, PCR test on day 2 and day 8, and self-isolate for 10 days. Now, people going abroad should continue to check the travel rules for their destination country as Australia. Dr. Sarah Pitt, a virologist at the University of Brighton, said it was sensible to test people before they got on a plane, as about 1 in 3 people who have COVID do not have symptoms but can be infectious to others. It is not that you are a special risk from having been traveling, but people should be testing themselves regularly anyway, she said. PCR tests have been used for travelers as they can detect if someone has the Omicron variant, unlike lateral flow tests. Now, asked whether the rule change could mean new variants are missed among people arriving from abroad, he said anyone who had a positive lateral flow test must get a PCR test via the NHS so it can be checked for a new variant using sequencing techniques. Mr. Sharps said the UK had a much higher level of sequencing than any other country in the world, so it was tracking new variant very carefully, regardless of whether it starts here or somewhere else. He warned that the stricter travel measures could be reintroduced if another variant of concern emerged. And earlier tweeted that the rules will be reviewed by the end of the month. The travel industry welcomed the relaxation of the rules. EasyJet Chief Executive John Lundgren said changes would make travel much simpler and easier, as customers could now book and travel with confidence. This is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 16 minutes to the top of the hour. What the kind of stories making the rounds here in the UK? Well, when it comes to the COVID, these are issues that is making the rounds there as well. Before I bring you that, let's take a quick break and then I bring you that story. Stay tuned and don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 11:45. Exactly at 12 o'clock, as I've announced, I'll be opening the lines for you to add your voice to the discussion. So please stay with me. Don't you go away. Don't you go away. Don't you go away at all. All right then. Now, fix NHS staffing crisis to tackle waiting lists. Backlog warns MPs. That's the sound of stories making around. A long-term plan to fix the staffing crisis in the NHS is needed to cut record waiting lists for treatment. The government is being warned that currently nearly 6 million people in England are waiting for routine operations and procedures, many of whom are in pain. A report from MP say the government needs to address staff shortages or NHS workers will quit. The government pointed to the extra £5.9 billion allocated to tackle the issue. There have been repeated warnings over the length of hospital waiting lists in England. As of September 2021, 2021, a record 5.8 million patients were waiting for surgery such as hip or knee replacement, with 300,000 waiting more than a year compared with just 1,600 before the pandemic. Interesting. I don't know how, but it says that in the autumn budget, the government announced an extra 5.9 billion for the NHS in England to help clear the backlog. Now, this was on top of another funding package in September to create an extra 9 million checks, scans and operations. But in its report published on Thursday, the Commons Health and Social Care Select Committee said the health service was hugely understaffed and was facing an unquantifiable challenge in tackling the backlog. Now, while it welcomed the government's funding, the committee said the NHS England was yet to publish how it plans to meet its workforce requirement, despite this being promised by Health Secretary Sajid Javid. The end of November, it said it wanted the government to draw up a recovery plan for service by April. The report said many NHS staff were feeling under pressure and could quit unless they saw the light at the end of the tunnel or more staff coming in. Jeremy Hunt, the former health secretary who now chairs the committee, said the NHS was short of 93,000 workers and there was no sign of any plan to tackle or to address the issue. He described the staffing crisis as entirely predictable, adding, the current wave of Omicron is exacerbating the problem, but we already had a serious staffing crisis with a burnt out workforce. Now, far from tackling the backlog, the NHS will be able to deliver little more than day-to-day firefighting unless the government wakes up to the scale of the staffing crisis facing the NHS. So what do you think is the way forward? Do we open more the doors for more foreign health workers to come into the country, getting doctors to come in from Europe and nurses from various parts of the world, from Africa, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from South Africa? Are we now getting to a point where we need to do that? Well, what do you think? Let us know more. Let me know more about what your thoughts are when it comes to this. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio, okay? It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A couple of other stories from the UK front. There are few. Now, we don't know how high energy bills will go, says boss. So there are some people who are predicting that it's going to go as high as 50%, but it looks like the bosses of the energy companies, now one of them is saying that, well, we don't have a clue. It is impossible to know yet how high household energy bills might go after the next review of the price cap, one energy boss has said. Now, Octopus Energy Chief Executive Greg Jackson said the sector was working to minimize cost increases. The energy price cap, which sets the maximum amount that suppliers can charge customers on a default tariff, sits at 1,277. Now, some experts have said it will jump in April as gas prices continue to soar. The new level for the price cap, which applies to England, Scotland, and Wales, is due to be announced on the 7th of February, a day and a month from today. Okay, now government officials have suggested that it is the absolute deadline for offering fresh support for firms as costs mount. Now, Mr. Jackson said the reality is that in the energy sector, the UK buys most of its energy on a global market, and we've had to pay about 20 billion pounds more than usual this year. Now, so in one way or another, the UK is going to have to pay that money. The government and representatives from the Department for Business have been meeting energy bosses in recent weeks to try to tackle the cost of living squeeze, as well as attempting to prevent more supplies from going bust. One option will be to subsidize the energy companies themselves by creating a fund which will allow them to draw on government cash when wholesale gas prices are very high, then pay it back when prices dipped again. Now, Mr. Jackson pointed out that energy firms often spread costs by buying gas 6 to 12 or 24 months in advance in a process called hedging. But he said a fund will allow companies to spread costs over a longer period of time, so we smooth the bill for customers in the UK. He also suggested it was the job of the sector as a whole to drive down costs for consumers. I should say that the days of energy companies making fat profits are long gone, and the entire sector is loss making because we're now so focused on driving costs down for customers. He added, that's the area where we are as a company can work hard. Well, good luck to them, and we hope that what he's saying is what is actually happening on the ground, and not that he just wants to say something to appease us, but rather saying what is actually happening. Because I don't know whether government is going to be supporting them or giving a loan or some government fund like that where they can dip their hands in when the prices go up, and then later on when prices go down as they are trying to push it down, then they will spread that cost and pay government back on it. Well, what do you think? Interesting times ahead here in the UK and across the globe. But some people have been asking the question, how come that they didn't see all this going to happen? But when they sit in parliament, they once again say, well, when Labour was in power, they ran the economy down. But 10 years on, and they've not had any plans. Well, when it comes to the environmental thing where people are saying, let's stop using this, let's cut that down, I tell you, let's wake up to reality. Because if you all want to say that, it's going to cost us an arm and a leg. I'm not against the fact that you have to make your environment, good, friendly, make sure that trees and everything is nice and tight and everything is growing. But when we have to say, let's stop this entirely and let's just move on with this particular trend and what? No. Well, maybe I'm the only person in a country which is not actually a real country on the earth, and therefore thinking that way. I was trying to get the name Imofia. Maybe I come from Imofia. Okay. Well. It is already 6 minutes to the top of the hour at the time. The morning show, the program. A couple of stories from the UK front before we go to other parts of the world. Now, drivers overcharged by 5 million a day for petrol, claims the RAC. Now, energy prices, when they are taking some money from the fuel prices, they are taking some from the power ones as well. The RAC has accused petrol retailers of ripping off motorists by refusing to pass on wholesale price cuts. The motoring organization said unleaded petrol fell by 2p a litre but should have come down by 12p. It estimated drivers were overcharged by 5 million a day in December as retailers made an average of 16p a litre on petrol instead of the normal 6p. The Petrol Retailer Association objected, saying drivers were likely to have benefited more than that. Now, December was a rotten month for drivers as they were taken advantage by retailers, said RAC fuel spokesman Simon Williams. In the past, he said retailers had always reduced pump prices when wholesale prices dropped or dipped. Now, this time, they stood strong, taking advantage of all the media talk about higher energy prices and banked on the oil price rising again and catching up with the artificially inflated prices, which has now done. Mr. Williams said. But Gordon Belmer, executive director of the Petrol Retailers Association, said December pump price data is less reliable because it is taken from the fuel card transactions and there have been far fewer of these transactions because of the reduction in business activity between Christmas and the New Year. He said the retail fuel market remained extremely competitive and said supermarkets did not use artificially low fuel prices to lure shoppers into their stores at Christmas. The cost of running petrol stations rose all year, with electricity up 19%, vastly reduced margins from the fuel cuts, increased national insurance and wage inflation, he added. Well, everybody is justifying it, but the RSC said unleaded dropped from 147.47 p a litre to 145.48 p when drivers should have been priced nearest to 135. So have you bought fuel? Do you see how much you spent? Now this is a drop by just 2p a litre, from 150.8p to 148.92p, when drivers should have been paying about 142p. It said. Now the RSC data suggested that the price of a litre of unleaded on the wholesale market, including delivery, averaged 106p across December. It said that had a 6p margin been taken by retailers, drivers would have seen an average petrol pump price of around 135p after applying VAT at 20%. Now everybody's milking somebody, and that seems to be the trend now, but it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. 2 minutes to the top of the hour at a time. What is happening here in the UK? A final story, and then we move on from there. Now, if you're traveling this morning, or you've been traveling, and you decide with me, I don't like to put on the face mask, I want to do whatever I want, I don't give a monkeys about that. Well, what has happened that people who have done that have faced a £200 fine. Now, hundreds of passengers have been issued fines for not wearing face coverings on London Transport Network since it was made mandatory. Now, compulsory face coverings were reinstated amid rising concerns about the Omicron variant of COVID-19. Now, penalty notices up to £200 were issued to 536 people between 30th of November to the 21st of December, the Mayor of London has said. Now, figures showed a further 287 passengers have penalties being processed by the Transport for London. Now, it follows a question to the Mayor's office from Labour Assembly member Ellie Baker. Data revealed 21,602 people were stopped on London's transport network for not wearing a mask. Now, City Hall said most complied by getting their face coverings from their bag or pocket, putting it on correctly, or purchasing one from a shop. However, 1,038 passengers were prevented from boarding. Now, Transport for London services and 491 people were ordered to leave services or stations. Now, Mayor Sadiq Khan said, I have consistently called for the reintroduction of legal requirements to wear face coverings on public transport, and so I welcome the government decision on the 30th of December. This regulation gives TfL as well as the police powers to prevent non-compliant customers from entering stations and boarding service. TfL can now issue fixed penalty notice of £200 for a first offence. You don't want to be coughing up that money. You have it. You can save it for a rainy day. If not, if you don't know what to do with it, come donate it to us, and we can use it for some of our charity causes. Well, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Those are stories that have made the rounds in London today. We're going to take a break, and once we come back, we'll look at stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, from Kazakhstan to North Korea to Australia to the US to Africa and to Ghana as well. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Star Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The hole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prum Prum Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com. Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is All Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and it's now gone 7 minutes past the top of the hour. It is the Thursday edition of the morning show. I am Archie. Yes, it was a long break. Yes. It's no, and I told you that you need to get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. I had to go get myself a warm or hot drink, something hot to cool me down. Hot to cool me down. So can they get it? I need something hot to cool me down. Okay. So I hope that you also getting something to cool you down there as well. But as I said earlier on, we'll be looking at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, and then I will bring you some nice tune. But if you want to join in the conversation this morning or this afternoon now, call me on 0208 133 2257 or 580208 133 2257 or 58, and I promise you I'm gonna allow you to make your voice heard. And those of you in the US is 0017183032737 0017183032737. We got a text or WhatsApp number as well. You can do so. Use the one to get in touch with us. It's 075-3966-1744. 075-3966-1744. Just get in touch with us, and I promise you, I'm going to make your whatever message that you have known to the general public as well. Okay, yes. So it is Star Radio UK. Now, if you want, we are on Twitter as well. So our Twitter handle is Star Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Don't you go away. Just stay tuned. Just stay with me, and let us make hay while the sun shines. Okay, a chilly day in the UK, but hey. Some people are having it hot. All right then. So let's move on straight to some international stories. Now, starting from Kazakhstan, this morning, yes, information that has come through since yesterday, which I did touch on briefly during the course of the program, is that the security forces in the Central Asian state of Kazakhstan says they have killed dozens of anti-government rioters in the main city, Almaty. They moved in after protesters tried to take control of police stations in the city. A police spokesman or spokeswoman said. Now, 12 members of the security forces have been killed and 353 injured in the unrest sparked by a doubling in the cost of liquefied petroleum gas. Now, Russia is sending in troops at the request of Kazakh's president. Now, they will be deployed to help stabilize the country, which is a member of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO, along with Russia, Belarus, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Armenia. The CSTO confirmed Russia paratroopers were being dispatched as peacekeepers with advanced units already deployed in the country. Now, protests began on Sunday when the government lifted its price cap on LPG, which many people use to fuel their cars. But the unrest has since spread to include political grievances. Well, so Kazakhstan, that borders Russia. I mean, Russia will not sit for such thing to happen, and therefore has as part of that group has sent troops. They said that they sent at the request of the Kazakh president. So, well, lives have been lost. Yesterday, I saw some videos of some police, the military, who have been attacked by a group of people, and were calling them, getting them to get off their trucks, and well, I mean, humiliating them. I was like, gee, you know, it gets to a point where human beings cannot take anything any longer, and it gets, when they push you to the wall, you get to a point that you bounce back, and that seems to be their trend now. What is going to happen in other parts of the world when we see such unrest happening? In Ghana, we know that price hikes are going through the roof. Jesus. Now, what do you think is going to happen? Looking at what is happening in Kazakhstan, well, then other people will die. Yes, people sort of give a monkeys about it. They want to get on with it. Well, it's all Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And then in North Korea, yesterday we did talk about the missile test that took place. North Korea successfully tested a hypersonic missile on Wednesday, its first major weapon test this year, and said a state media report. Now, KCNA said it precisely hit a set target of 700 kilometers, that's 434 miles away. This is the second reported test of a hypersonic missile which can avoid detection for longer than ballistic missile. The test comes as its leader Kim Jong-un had earlier vowed to bolster Pyongyang's defenses. Now, Mr. Kim said in a New Year's speech that Pyongyang will continue to strengthen its defense capabilities due to an increasingly unstable military environment on the Korean Peninsula. Who is going to attack Pyongyang? That is a question that most people are asking. But all coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. This afternoon, exactly at 5 o'clock, the renewed show will be coming your way with the one and only Charlotte Odum. So make a date with her when she brings that program your way. But wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't you go away as we continue with the program. Just bear with me if you cannot see me. Yeah, you'll be seeing me pretty soon. Just sorting something out quickly, and then we can continue with the show. So I want to say, why didn't you take a break then? No, I didn't want to take a break because we are so on. My producer says just go on like that. Well, okay, so now let's move on to other parts of the world and look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Now, today marks the first anniversary of the attack on Capitol. I would call it the Capitol riot by Biden. The president of the United States of America is going to blame the former president for the carnage 1 year on. Now, President Joe Biden will blame Donald Trump for the U.S. Capitol riot as he marks the first anniversary of the attack on the seat of American democracy. Now, speaking at Congress, Mr. Biden will say his predecessor holds singular responsibility for the chaos and carnage, said spokeswoman Jen Psaki. Now, investigators have so far arrested 725 suspects in connection with the attack. Now, Trump supporters stormed the building as Congress was meeting to certify Mr. Biden's presidential election victory. Images of U.S. lawmakers cowering from the mob in the gallery of the House of Representatives on that afternoon of the 6th of January 2021 shocked the world. Mr. Trump had urged protesters at a rally outside the White House shortly beforehand to peacefully march on Congress, but he also exhorted them to fight and stirred up the crowd with unsubstantiated claims of mass voter fraud in the election he had just lost. The former president had planned to host a competing news conference on the Thursday from his Mar-a-Lago resort home in Palm Beach, Florida, but he cancelled the event after aides reportedly warned of negative press coverage. A spokesman for Mr. Trump, Taylor Budwich, said it was unsurprising that Mr. Biden would spend the day trying to further divide our nation in an attempt to distract voters from the rising inflation and crime and coronavirus school closures. Well, now everybody has to blame somebody for their woes, but well, what do you think? Just so far, so soon, a year on. Wow, the first anniversary of that. Quite an interesting one. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on straight to some other stories as well. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi was trapped on Punjab flyover in security breach. Now, so what happened there? The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was trapped on a flyover for 20 minutes by protesters in Punjab in what is being reported as a serious security lapse. They were demanding the resignation of a cabinet minister whose son has been accused over the deaths of farmers. Now, this was a major lapse in the security of the Prime Minister. A statement from the Federal Home Ministry has said. Now, Punjab Chief Minister Tranjit Singh Chani said there had been no security lapses on the part of his government. We had asked them, that's the Prime Minister's office, to discontinue the visit due to bad weather and protests. We had no information of the sudden change in route. There was no security lapses during the Prime Minister's visit, Mr. Chani told the media. Now, Mr. Modi arrived at Bathinda Airport on Wednesday morning and was supposed to fly to the National Martyrs Memorial and later to the rally in a helicopter. But the trip was delayed by bad weather and the convoy finally went by road when visibility did not improve. It got stuck some 30 kilometers, that is 18 miles, from the memorial. Mr. Modi was also scheduled to address a rally in the city of Firozepur ahead of a state election, but the Home Ministry said the Prime Minister's convoy returned to the airport due to the security lapses. I express regret that the Prime Minister Modi had to return during the visit to Firozepur. We respect our Prime Minister, Mr. Chani said. The Home Ministry said it has sought a detailed report from Punjab government on the serious security lapses. As per procedure, they have to make necessary arrangement for logistics security as well as keep a contingency plan ready, it said. Mr. Chani said the government will inquire into the matter if they found any evidence of a security lapse. He also said they had convened some protesting farmers the previous night to end the agitation, but others had gathered suddenly in Firozepur. Says the protesters were demanding the resignation of Junior Home Minister Archie Mishra, whose son has been accused in an incident that left 8 people dead in October. A car linked to Mr. Mishra had plowed into protesting farmers in Uttar Pradesh state, killing 4 men. Farmers alleged that the son Aisha Mishra was behind the attack. Well, it is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 20 minutes past the top of the hour, and it's my singular honor to welcome the one and only Kojo D. Okay, Kojo's line is dropped. Kojo, call us back. Okay, yes, Kojo D, who has joined us. And let me say, Kojo, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Arch.
Yeah. How are you?
What a day.
Yes.
I'm good. Yeah.
Yes. Once again on air, let me say a happy new year to you. And our listeners were waiting for you to bring your New Year greetings as well, so you can go on with it.
Happy New Year to everyone who has been listening to us for the past year.
Yes.
Right. And we enter this new year. It's a brand new year full of hope. And as we say, there's always much more better things to come the way from Star Radio. So I will encourage you to still get hooked on and stay on. This is the best place you can find anything about Africa, Caribbean, and to some extent we break down the news items which is local to us in the UK. So, but a happy new year to everybody. That's the most important one.
Yes. Okay, so listeners, that is Kojo in South London. I told you he's had a very busy schedule, but because of the love for you, he's made the time to join us this afternoon. Now, Kojo, just a quick one on some of the stories that I've touched on. I don't know whether you captured the beginning of the stories making the rounds in the UK here. But the COVID travel test that the government is saying this outlived its purpose, and the fact that their ministers were calling for government to do something because there are the number of planned procedures are supposed to take place.
The hospitals.
Hospitals is it's something that I don't know how or when they can actually sort that backlog out.
Well, with the hospital procedures, let's go to the NHS. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, it wasn't COVID that had created a huge backlog. I mean, the NHS has already been missing targets prior to
the COVID.
Yeah, exactly. So, coronavirus had only come in to exacerbate the situation. But prior to that, there have been missed targets, several waiting hours at A&E. The targets have never been met, really. And that is one part of it. There have been missed targets going on for years. And that's all been laid at the door of the Conservative government that has been in power for the last, let's say, 12 years, if you prefer that. Because it encompasses 11 year and 12 year. So some responsibility to be taken by those other Conservative government. Harvey is a new Conservative government, but the Conservatives in total have been in power for more than a decade. So all these has been created in a system. Wow. Somebody will say I'm sounding like Labour, but that's the facts of the matter. That look, the system has been experiencing huge problems. There hadn't been enough investment in the system. There have been over-reliance also on overseas EU and foreign staff to man the NHS. We know what happened, in 2016, which led to a gradual moving away of overseas and EU migrants back to their own countries. So NHS is short of staff. They're doing the best to in the Commonwealth countries. But how soon can that happen? They've increased doctor training places, but we know it doesn't take a year to train a doctor
at all.
So that's going to be in another 7-year to 10-year cycle. Before those doctors could be trained at 10,000 places they've increased to will be delivered. Then we have nursing training places, which has also been increased. But there again, we see the other side of it. A lot of nurses are leaving the profession as well for stress, overworked. So the problems are going to go on for a while before finally somebody will say we see the light at the end of the tunnel. But even if we see it at all.
But looking at this measure, I mean, the inspiration of the NHS and the country as a whole at the moment. How do you think African countries can position themselves to take good advantage, especially the Commonwealth countries? How do you think we can position ourselves and take good advantage of this?
Well, if you're talking about that, then you have to go right to Asia and look at what this other country has done, the Philippines. Yeah, so if you look at the model of the Philippines, the biggest export is healthcare workers.
Yeah, nurses. You go everywhere, they are there.
Exactly. So if any of African Commonwealth countries want to take advantage of plugging themselves into that gap, then they have to be looking at the model that has been practiced by the Philippines. Have more healthcare colleges, train more people in healthcare, have surplus to not to forget that sometimes when these healthcare workers leave their own countries, they are depriving their own country of the needed healthcare. So you need to have a surplus within your system. So with the Philippines, they don't look a lot of doctors. The people they target as exports are people training as nurses, people training as specialist nurses, people training as ICU, ITU nurses. So those specialist areas. So they train more people than probably any other country, bar maybe Cuba. But Cuba has more health professionals within the country itself, but Cuba do not train for export. So that is a difference. So that's the only way they can look at training people to plug in the gap. At the same time, some of these people that they train, like the Philippines, also help to build the economy back home through various remittances, through if they took a student loan system to train, the government ensures that wherever they go, they still pay up their student loans. So that is a model really, if any African country wants to do it, or any Commonwealth country. Bear in mind that other Commonwealth countries like Canada and Australia and New Zealand would necessarily not send their health professionals here.
You're right.
Yeah, because the Canadian system is slightly similar to the UK system in health delivery. So it's a hybrid version of America and the UK system.
Okay.
Yeah, so they also train for their own people, and they ensure that the wages paid to their own people are much lucrative. So they're not going to up their stakes and come all the way down to the UK. And if you look at Australia down under, there are UK trained nurses and doctors who are now relocating to Australia because of the work family life balance, which UK doctors barely have, and in the US too, doctors barely have. So I must say that. So and the New Zealand too is a great system. So you don't find people traveling all the way from New Zealand to come and work in the UK. It's the other way around.
Yeah, people leaving the shores of the UK to go there. Well,
to go and work in those places.
If you're listening to us this afternoon, what do you think about all that? Do you think that we might have to get ourselves in a position where we can get some more people in, maybe get some people from Europe as well? Because we know that the Brexit made lots of our health workers also leave the shores of the country. But what do you think? It is Starr Radio UK in South London, Kojo Day. I'm Archie here in the studios of Starr Radio UK. Now, let's talk about the masks. There have been some serious fines on the London Underground. They call it London. £200 fine. I mean, you go to a place and then you see some people not wearing masks, not showing anything to say that they are exempt. So we know. Those who are anti anti what vax and all those
anti-max.
Yeah. What do you think should be done to them? What can you do? The shops cannot actually say the security men at the shop can say you go out, we cannot allow you. I mean, you do that, somebody who is cuckoos will just begin to misbehave towards you.
Well, it's not a misbehavior alone, but the shops have made it already clear that they are not going to enforce any of those rules because they are not policemen. The rules are supposed to be enforced by policemen. So we can rule out the shops instantly. They said they are not going to ask any of their staff to enforce the wearing of any of these face masks, whichever it is, or face covering, as we prefer to call it here in the UK. So they're not going to enforce any of those. But with the London Underground, or let's put it, a Transport for London, I think that is an appropriate description, because the Transport for London covers a whole lot, from buses to all trams and all the transport system within London. They have tried to enforce it. They have, in some cases, when a passenger is immediately asked to not get into their facilities, they quickly pull it out from their bags and quickly put a face mask on. So there have been an enforcement, but those that seem not to really want to put on a face mask, as in public transport, they are the ones receiving the fines. But in proportion to the people who have been advised, who have been asked to leave the station because they were not adhering to the rules, it's a small number. Although somebody will say that numbers over 200 people is a big number, but it is still a small number. In terms of enforcement. But I think on the whole, what TfL, that's Transport for London, is trying to put across is that they wouldn't take, they wouldn't really allow people who break the rules to go into the transport system. I think that's the message they want to put across.
Well, if you are traveling on the London, any of the London transport, be aware that you need to put on your mask. I know that you know that, or your face covering, so that you don't get a fine of 200 quid. I said, if you have that 200 quid, you don't know what to use it for, we've got lots of charity work that we can do with it. Just donate it to us and we'll make good use of it. It's now 12:33 from the House of London. Let's move on straight to some international stories. Kazakhstan. The crackdown. I mean, we're getting to a point where we see energy prices, we see price hikes. I mean, virtually across the globe. I mean, that's what they've said so far. Now, do you think that what has happened in Kazakhstan is going to actually, cause other countries or citizens of other countries to also behave that way? Because already we have the Russians pointing finger at the US, saying that they have been stoking, or the West stoking fire in Kazakhstan for such unrest to happen there.
Well, look, Russia will capitalize on that. I mean, let's face it, Russia is going to capitalize on that. But Russia is part of the system which is increasing the fuel and oil and gas across the whole of Europe. So they are probably 70% responsible for the hike in prices. They are not prepared to reduce their prices. And as we've already been told, it's nothing to do with the West. If these prices have been increased by Russia, what has it got to do with the West? The West doesn't sell gas to Kazakhstan. It's Russia that sells gas to Kazakhstan. If Russia, you think that the West is using that as a weapon to stoke unrest in Kazakhstan, reduce the prices that you sell to Kazakhstan, and overnight the prices of energy will come down, and the people, the government of Kazakhstan will not be forced to increase the prices. I mean, but it is not only energy prices in Kazakhstan that have gone up. The people took to the street because that was the last straw. They said the economy is in real serious trouble, and people are really struggling to make their day-to-day life. And this is the nail into the coffin that caused the people to come onto the street and block off the airport so that government ministers and the president cannot fly anywhere.
And well, they've killed some of them. They've killed a handful of them, and some of the military also have been killed as well.
I mean, that is bound to happen. But if you look at some of the footage, some of the policemen and the military have decided that, look, you know what, we're not going to be in between this cross wall. So some of them just lay down their shield, took off everything, laid it down, and said, "People, we are with you." And they step aside. The people, he said, "We are with you. We are all suffering together." Which is the truth. I mean, being in the security force doesn't mean that you don't suffer.
Those people are your families, they are your relations, so you cannot say,
So Russia going this far and saying that, I think Russia should look itself in the face and say, look, what can we do to help this country?
Well, they sent troops in there to help them. They say peace force there to go and help forestall peace, because the Kazakh president has requested for help from the Russians. They're not putting prices down though, but they rather going there to see to peace.
But if it's look, because there are a group of states that rely on Russia, and that's one of those states. And their leaders have also been behaving similar, like the Russian, because the template has been given to them. How to suppress your people. I mean, how to overcome economic difficulty in the face of people rioting.
Crack down on them, kill some of them, and to restore peace.
People are in difficulty, and you're sending soldiers to beat them up.
But looking at this Russia stake in energy prices going up. I mean, I was saying earlier on that, well, the government in the UK, they've been in power for more than, as we were saying, more than almost 12 years. They should have see that things like that could happen and put measures in place to forestall such occurrence. They didn't do that. We have other parts of the world who are also so it's not like only UK, but it's across the globe. Now, can the global community decide to boycott Russia for some time to force them to change their prices or bring their prices down when it comes to the energy prices? Can that be done?
At the moment, that's going to be a difficult thing to do. I mean, the UK can continue to buy energy from Russia at whatever price Russia is giving it to them. But what the UK also needs to do is to increase, like what America is doing. I mean, the UK is bent on going so much green, so some things are suffering as a result. So UK has huge deposits in the North Sea, of gas in the North Sea, which they can, increase production, ramp up production to balance the prices that. But UK is not doing it because everything environment is a political charge kind of thing. So they want to be environmentally green, and at the same time they also want to balance their books. So they'll have to increase the prices slightly, but there are a number of things. So that's one they can do. They can increase gas production in the North Sea. Two, they can also accelerate the building up of nuclear power. I mean, but building up of nuclear power is for the future. Because we know that wouldn't take a day to do, or a month or a year to make changes. But it can make a change of policy to the North Sea, which could be done within months, and they can ramp up production. And that will help. But on a whole, what the UK has also done is putting this cap on energy prices, which is helpful. But other countries don't have it. So, for example, Kazakhstan don't have it. So the prices go up in line with energy with the wholesale prices. But if you go to the US, have you ever heard US people talking about energy prices?
No.
Yeah, because they have a number of things they are doing there. They don't care. They ramp up production. So when they want to, they will do the other one that the UK had banned.
Shell gassing, yeah.
Fracking.
Yeah, fracking,
that's what they're doing it big time over there to support their energy, domestic energy production.
Well, environmentalists are going to go there to demonstrate. We all have to pay for it. We all have to suffer so that when we die.
But you can't do it in the thing about it is that you can't frack in the UK. You can't extract shale gas in the UK because the environmentalists will completely block you out.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Okay. Listeners, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The voice of Kojo D on the line, and I'm Archie here in the studios, and we're looking at some international stories. But before we go to Africa, let's touch on a couple of stories. We've got Djokovic, and we've got the first anniversary of the Capitol riot, and the storming of the Capitol. They're saying that President Biden is going to make a statement blaming Trump for the carnage that happened a year on, and we all know it's obvious. What happened before the people stormed the Capitol, and the fact that Trump was saying, "I'm coming with you, but you go there in peace," and then he never even turned up there as well. So everybody knows that is what is happening. Do you think that is something that Biden is trying to do? Because some people are saying that is going to stoke more division in the country than they've seen. Do you think there's a point for the president to go on to make such a statement?
Well, the cases are still going on. People are still being prosecuted in court. People are still being put before court. Some are going to serve jail terms, and whether he says it in his speech or not, the media is going to raise it. Today is anniversary, and everything will be raised and said Trump encouraged. All the reportage will say Trump encouraged his supporters to do what they did. The supporters themselves went out and were saying the same thing. The Kenanon Sharma himself said they went there because Trump urged them to go there. So whether Biden said it or not, even in court, those people already saying it. So, but we know the way politics work. If your enemy politically, let me put it that way, creates a problem, it becomes an advantage.
You stir it up all the time. Everybody look at what is happening.
So it's anniversary. What do we expect? We don't expect anything more from Biden. He's going to say, look, somebody in a former president or Trump and his supporters try to derail the democratic process of the states. And we expect him to say it.
Okay. Now quickly, let's go to Australia. Djokovic. He's not declaring his stance when it comes to his status, the vaccine, whether he's taking the vaccine or not. And because of that, he's been, outlawed. He has to leave the country. But, he is in a quarantine hotel till Monday. Now,
ready to be deported.
Yeah, ready to be deported if his lawyers are not able to, reinstate his visa.
Well, I think it's diplomacy gone wrong. That's my opinion. It's terrible the diplomacy. Look, within Australia itself, the state of Victoria is saying we are admitting you into the tournament. But the national government, which is the state of Australia, is saying no, you cannot be above the rules. So, the Serbians own home country president has also waded into the whole argument. So it's all become kind of like a diplomatic time bomb or row. Let's put it row. It's row, a diplomatic row. However, the two presidents are not shouting at each other, but they are putting their cases across. But the fair matter is, if he was granted a medical exemption, why hasn't the medical exemption been respected?
Yeah.
I mean, will Australia say that other Australians within the state of Australia who have medical exemptions should be locked in their homes? Or if I'm an Australian and I'm coming back into my home country and I have medical exemption from vaccines, should I be staying in a certain country and not step in my own country? I mean, if he's been given a medical exemption, why wouldn't the state of Australia respect that medical exemption?
But maybe they wanted Australian medical to give that exemption, not necessarily.
But that would still be wrong. He doesn't live in Australia.
Okay.
So how is an Australian doctor going to give him a medical exemption? A medical exemption can only be given within the state that you live. So if I live in the UK and I'm traveling to Australia, I will have a medical exemption from the UK or France or whichever country I live.
Yeah.
I don't get to Australia before I'm examined and say they don't hold my medical records. So why would they want to be interfering in seeing my medical records? This is a diplomacy gone wrong, really. I mean.
Okay. We don't have time, so let's move on quickly to.
And then you can understand why it's gone that way, because Australia in itself is going due for election. So the president, Scott Morrison, and his party really fancy their chances of winning another election.
Yeah.
So they want to be seen as dealing with issues relating to coronavirus issues. I mean, that's all it is.
Well, we hope that it worked. It worked to his increase his fortunes of winning that election. If not, well, we'll see what happens on that front. And come Monday, we'll see what has happened there as well. But listeners, Star Radio UK, we just got 12 minutes, but we have to now go to Ghana and have a look at some of that stories making the round. The Speaker, Alban Gbagben, and 3 NDC era ministers have been probed. The probe has to do with the purchase of ambulances by the Mahama government. Former Deputy Finance Minister Kazel Atuforsen is facing charges over the purchase. The Speaker, Alban Gbagben, and 3 others, former Health Minister, have given statement to prosecutors in the issue relating to the purchase of some ambulances during the John Dramani Mahama administration. Now, interestingly, the Deputy Attorney General Diana Sunaba Dapa has disclosed that the investigation into the ambulance gate has started in 2017, the first year of the first term of the Akufo-Addo government. But some people are of the view that this has all been schemed and skewed towards the fact that if they could get Gbagben or they could get some of the NDC MPs out of the way, then it gives the ruling government the majority because of the e-levy thing that is going on. What do you think?
Well, oh goodness, these are people. I mean, if this was started when did they claim it was started?
2017. Yeah.
Exactly. So why hadn't they progressed since 2017? And they're waiting until 2022. I mean, how many years is this?
Let me say that they were investigating. You cannot
investigating for 5 years. I don't know which investigation, and we've heard nothing about it in the press since 2017. Since the first investigation was open. And they're claiming it's been ongoing since 2017. So why haven't we seen various reports of it. I mean, even if, let's put it this way, even if these three or former deputy minister, finance minister, and all the rest are found to be guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? Their seats will be open for a recontest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is no way from Abraham Bagbin's seat for MPP to win his seat.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
And that's similar with to Folsom.
Yeah.
Those are strongholds for the minority NDC. So it's not going to make any changes. However, somebody is going to say that would have opened the door. If they are being prosecuted, then they cannot sit in parliament.
Yeah.
So parliamentary business can still carry on
without
so
them.
That is the only thing somebody is going to say. But even if that were to be the case, I am sure that the minority will also bring a counter something on the floor of the house to make sure the voting doesn't carry on.
Well, we want to see. We want to see what will happen on that front. Honestly, as things develop,
it's a lot of political maneuvering, and we are not a proper parliamentary democracy. There isn't a proper parliamentary democracy in Ghana. There isn't a proper presidential democracy in Ghana. It's just a hybrid of not going anywhere with what they decided to do. So they can't really be a parliamentary. They can't really be a presidential. So they just stuck in between, and nothing happens. I mean, if it were another country that the minority has about that number of parliament, if it were the UK, it becomes an instant hang parliament. Probably a new election will probably have to be called. I think we went through this. If it were a country like Israel, a new election will have to be called. But as we see, because we are just in between the two, nobody knows where election will be called. So that is a situation that they find themselves in.
Wow, that's a difficult one. So they have to use all maneuverings to make sure that they have a majority somewhere. Okay.
Talking about even how many ambulances?
Quite a few of them. I don't know whether up to 200.
About 200.
Yeah. But I have a problem with those things. You know, when it comes to purchasing, the way we purchase things from overseas into our country. I mean, we have an organization back in a body that sees to such things. Now, why didn't they do diligent in searching for the right ambulances for the country? Why wasn't that done?
You know the answer, Archie. You know the answer is all corruption. I mean, you know the answer. I mean, if you have a body who wants to certify the purchase of ambulances, as they have here, where even if you want to buy ambulances, I mean, there's a specific requirement that needs to be met. But you have people being asked to purchase stuff because they are part of a political party. They have no background and experience in dealing with such volumes of purchase or that type of purchase, but they get involved because it's all kind of a corruption. I mean, none of the parties can hold themselves high in this regard. They both do it. So it is not only the NDC who you find who will do it, but the MPP too will do it. I mean, just that maybe one party has been smarter than the other.
Okay, Kojo, we need to. We've got 5 minutes just to go. So a quick one on this benchmark value thing that is going on in the country at the moment. We have those who import chicken into the country, and they are saying that the price of frozen chicken is up 100%. Some are calling it good for the local industry there, but when it comes across to other goods, then we have a massive problem. Now people are complaining about the fact that the cost of living in the country is overwhelming now, and governments seem not to be that sensitive to the plight of the people. So what do you think? I don't know whether you've gone through this benchmark value thing at all.
Well, even if I haven't gone through it, if I put it this way, I think they want to increase the production of, if you're referring to chicken, in this instance, they want to increase
the local production,
of certain goods, which could have actually been done locally instead of flooding the market. But I think a number of governments have tried that approach. Going back to the Rollins time, they tried a lot of that approach. Did it really work? It didn't work that much. And I think part of this too is a tax revenue collecting exercise. So if I decide to be buying frozen chicken, and my tax is gone up 100%, I am forced to put it on the market. If I were selling a bag of, let's say, drumsticks for 5 Ghana cedis, and it's gone up 100% in taxes, how much am I going to sell it? 10 cedis. I also put the same 100% on
it.
So, and of course, if that should happen, more people are going to be patronizing the local produced chicken, because that will be cheaper for people to buy. But that is the easier principle. That is the principle behind a whole lot. So we're using chicken, but other goods and services can also be benchmarked the same way. That say, look, we have an alternative in a country. So if you bring in an imported, but we know that the economic market doesn't exactly work that way. It doesn't. The market force is determined. So over here in the UK, we know we don't have fruits and vegetables. All the fruits and vegetables are imported. I mean, because the climate makes it impossible for us to grow fruit and vegetables. We know a lot of chicken too in the system is imported. Some imports are as far field as Australia. But then we still hold on, please.
Okay. Well, listeners, Kojo D, for you, trying to run up his discussion before we go away. But what do you think about this issue that is going on? 43 selected items, including rice, poultry, sugar, palm oil, toilet paper, mosquito coils, machetes, and vehicles. Now, when it comes to vehicles, how many vehicles do we produce in the country at the moment, and how many people can afford to buy newer vehicles? What financial support do we give to people who want to even buy our own locally manufactured, so let's call it locally manufactured vehicles, whether there is anything of the sort? But I know that there are some plants in the country at the moment who are producing vehicles there. But hello, Kojo. Okay.
Unmute.
Okay.
I think I muted by accident. Somebody would nearly tear down my door. And the person was even coming here. Open the door. He said, I'm putting something on your drive. I said, you can't put anything on my drive. Your order. I said, I don't have an order. So, obviously, if they were benchmarking the order, I was taking the order. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I think that is the situation. But because the economy doesn't automatically work that way, it's so difficult, really, for is it because I think one of the things is that I think a lot of these people are using the foreign currency to buy goods and bring in. So that's one other reason all this benchmarking is happening. So if I'm using thousands of pounds or dollars to buy things from abroad, which that money could be used to buy other things. So if I benchmark, people will reduce the import of those goods.
Yeah, and use the local ones.
And at the same time, try to target making a lot of tax revenue possible from increasing duty on the people who bring
those goods,
and make it very pricey for the local people to not be able to afford. People put it that way. But like we've just agreed, the economy doesn't necessarily work that way. But I think we will have to see and wait and see exactly in the next few months what really happens to this. Then we can have a great discussion on it.
Okay. Well, listeners, it's gone a minute after 1. Virtually, we are bringing the program to a close. But let's go back to Kojo for his closing remarks or any other thing that he wants to talk about. Over to you, Kojo.
Right. I picked up an item the other day. If you look at the E-Levy, I'm still on the E-Levy 2022. So one country in Africa, was it Uganda, who also introduced a E-Levy on Momo. Yeah, probably their own was really very little. It was not 0.2%.
Oh, okay, not 0.2.
So
1.75.
Yeah. So if you do the math tells you that Ghana's own is 1.55 higher. Than Uganda. But even that, there was a kind of a bit of demonstration against it. Although it was so little, but there was a demonstration. People were not happy about the whole thing. But however, their own has kicked off and it's going smoothly. But we'll see how it goes. But so that still goes back to the Ghana government to say that look, the 1.75 is slightly a steep price, and it could. I think we on this station have already said that the government could have started off on a smaller percentage, and gradually increase it. So that will be my final listing. It has to. Well, even if they decide to Parliament approves it, I think the rate is slightly a bit high.
Okay, Kojo. Let me say thank you very much for another wonderful presentation this afternoon.
Sure.
All right, then. We'll catch up.
I will say good afternoon to everybody.
Okay. All right, then. Yes, listeners, that was Kojo D for you, bringing you his take on issues that have been discussed. But this is where we bring the program to a close. For this morning, tomorrow I'll be bringing you another edition of the morning show. That's going to be the Friday edition of the morning show. And as I announced earlier on, this afternoon, exactly at 5 o'clock, Charlotte Odom will be coming your way with the renewed show. And our topic today is going to be start right. Start right. What are you starting right? Well, make a date with her. You're starting the new year 2022, and she says, start right. Are you going to be going to the gym to gym up a bit to build the muscles and eat healthy meals and do all sorts? What are you going to be doing? Well. I would love to know. But, you might have to join her exactly at 5 o'clock. Not might, you have to join her at 5 o'clock to know more of what she's got up her sleeve. So on that note, I want to say thank you very much. After that, we'll be bringing a repeat broadcast of what took place last Tuesday on the BB Means Business Show. Yes, what business ideas, new business ideas for the year 2022. Make a date on that. And then after that, we'll be bringing you the Property Hour with KB Bossman, Vicky Newton as well. I don't know what they're going to be talking about, but make a date with them when they come your way. On that note, let me say thank you very much for tuning in once again to listen to us. It's been a pleasure coming your way, but enjoy this song when it ends and you don't hear from me. Then it's been me, Archie, saying have a top of the day. Well, when the song ends and you don't hear from me, then it's been me, Archie, saying have a top of the day. And bye-bye for now. See you tomorrow. Bye. This is from it's Kerdera's acoustic reggae cover of Bob Marley's One Love. Enjoy.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world.
Let them all pass all there.
Thanks for listening. 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 Thanks for listening.
Is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to save his own? Believe me, one love. What about one heart? One heart. What about love? Let's get together and feel alright, as it was in the beginning. One love. So shall it be in the end. One heart. Alright. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. One more thing, let's get together to fight this holy Armageddon. So when the man comes, there will be